Jungkook was having a chill time with his friends when he received a call from Y or N. He checked the time. It's almost 10 at the night. Jungkook, hello ma'am, YN. Meet me right now. Jungkook is nervously sitting in front of Y or N. His whole body is trembling. He gulped and realized his throat is dry as desert. Y or N was staring at him. Her eyes have nothing but emptiness. Y or N, what is this? She said, pointing at the letter in front of her. It's a love letter and Jungkook wrote it. But his intention was not to give this to her. Jungkook fall for Y or N on the first day he saw her. It's been 1 month now. One day Jungkook write his feelings for Y or N in a paper. And in hurry, he put the paper inside a file. After that, he forgot about it. In morning, he give this file to Y or N, unaware that his letter is still inside it. He started trembling more. Jungkook, ma'am, I'm sorry. Y or N, do you love me? Jungkook, please don't get angry. Y or N, yes or no? Jungkook slowly nodded his head as yes. Y or N closed her eyes and leaned her back on the couch. Jungkook was silently sitting there. Is she gonna beat him? She'll surely fire him now. He was fighting with the negative thoughts. After 5 minutes, Y or N opened her eyes and looked at Jungkook. But what she said make him shocked to the core. Y or N, marry me. Taehyung smiled and texted good morning back to Y or N. He knows his butterfly can never leave him. She often texts him, but it's been 3 days. She isn't going to office. Taehyung asked her about it through text and she said she's very busy for some work. But Taehyung can't stay without seeing his butterfly, even for a day. He went to her place 3 days before, but she wasn't home. Taehyung asked her where she is, and she said she's out of the town. She went to visit her father's factories. When are you coming back, butterfly? He texted. The message was seen but Y or N doesn't reply. Taehyung sighed and keep his phone aside. After few hours Taehyung received a text from Y or N. Meet me at the riverbank at 5. Taehyung's heart jumped in happiness. In these days there were a distance growing in between Taehyung and Y or N, but they used to work in the same office. He used to see her every day, but in past 3 days, she doesn't come to office. And now Taehyung is missing her like hell. Taehyung is sitting on the riverbank. He come here 30 minutes early today. He's so excited to meet his butterfly. After 3 days, he turned around, feeling her presence behind him. Taehyung, in this 7 years of friendship, it's the longest time I stay without seeing you. YN give him a dry smile and sit next to him. Y or N, get used to it. Taehyung, never. Now I'm not letting you go out without me, even for a day. You should have told me that you're going out of the town. I could go along. Y or N doesn't reply. She's just staring at the sunset with her empty eyes. Taehyung look at her. Her eyes are shining in pain. It broke his heart again. After 5 minutes, Y or N turned to Taehyung and take out a card from her bag. She handed him the card, her hands trembling with emotion. Y or N, here, take this. Taehyung, what is it? He said curiously while checking the card. Y or N, my wedding card. Taehyung's hand stopped. He looked up at Y or N with a frown. Taehyung, what? Y or N, I'm getting married next week, she whispered, her voice barely above a whisper. Taehyung couldn't believe what he is hearing. His eyes widened in shock as he read the words on the card. Taehyung, you're getting married with your manager? Butterfly, is this some kind of joke? But as he looked into YN's eyes, he saw the pain and determination that lay behind her words. She was serious. She was really going through with this crazy plan of marrying someone she barely knew. Taehyung felt a wave of emotions crash over him: hurt, anger, and regret. Taehyung, butterfly, don't take your life decision like this. You barely know that guy. Y or N, if you can marry an unknown girl, then why not me? Taehyung take a deep breath to calm himself. He cupped her cheeks. Taehyung, Y or N, you're not in your right mind. Y or N, I am in my right mind, and besides he loves me. Taehyung, try to understand, butterfly. You can't take your life's decision like this. Y or N, Why not? It's my life and I need to take my decisions. I can't rely on you like this. I need to move on. Taehyung, don't act childish. Y or N? If you want to marry the manager, know him properly first. Y or N? I know him. He's very good and kind man. Taehyung, yeah, everyone is kind in your dictionary. Y or N? Enough. I don't want to argue with you. After 2 days is my engagement. Bring your fiancé there. Saying that she get up and left from there without giving Taehyung any chance to talk. Taehyung rubbed his face in frustration. In these 2 days, Taehyung talked with Jungkook's friends, relatives and co-workers. He need to know everything about Jungkook. He can't let his butterfly ruin her life. Everyone said Jungkook is a very nice and polite guy. At last, Taehyung went to Jungkook. Jungkook was checking the labor's work on YN's factory when Taehyung went to him. Taehyung, why are you marrying her? Jungkook, I love her. Taehyung, how will I trust you? Jungkook, what I have to do to make you trust me? Y or N? You don't have to do anything. Taehyung looked back and saw Y or N. Taehyung, butterfly YN, Mr. Jeon, could you please excuse us? Jungkook nodded and left from there. Y or N? What do you want? Taehyung, your happiness. Y or N? My happiness is with your love. Do you love me? Taehyung looked down, earning a chuckle from Y or N. Y or N? I'm marrying Jungkook and that's final. You don't have to investigate his loyalty. Taehyung consoled his heart, saying Jungkook is a nice guy and perfect for his butterfly. Now he's standing in a corner of a big party venue. Y or N doesn't have any family. Taehyung could see their old classmates and the other guests are Jungkook's family members. Y or N look at her reflection in the mirror. She's wearing a red dress. Jungkook choose for her. Her heart raced with a mix of excitement and sadness. She is going to commit to a man who was not the one she truly loved. Her phone buzzed as she received a text from Jungkook. He's waiting for her outside. Taehyung's ex-girlfriend Rosie walked towards him and said a small word. Rosie. Fool. Rosie walk away. Mimi come wearing a big red bow. He bent down with a smile. Taehyung, you're looking pretty, he said while caressing her furry back. Just then the guests started cheering. Taehyung looked up, his breath caught in his throat at the sight of YN. It's Y or N. She's wearing a red dress. She's looking more beautiful than he had ever seen her. Every detail, from the way her hair framed her face to the curve of her smile, drove him crazy with longing. But his heart shattered into a million pieces when he saw YN's fiancé wrap his arms around her, pulling her close in a tender embrace. The way he held her, the way he whispered in her ear, the way he looked at her with adoration, made Taehyung burn with jealousy and heartbreak. He doesn't know why he's feeling like this, why it's burning, why it's hurting, why he's so afraid. Taehyung, look at Y or N once again. She is a vision of beauty in a stunning red gown. Her hair cascaded down her back in waves, her eyes sparkled with unshed tears. Jungkook is standing next to her. His one hand is still around her waist. Unable to bear the sight any longer, Taehyung turned away, his fists clenched in anger and frustration. The engagement ceremony proceeded, with smiles and well wishes from family and friends. Y or N tried to push aside her feelings of doubt and sadness, focusing on the man standing beside her, promising her a future of love and happiness. But as the night wore on, and the celebration reached its peak, Taehyung found himself drawn back to Y or N. He watched her from afar, unable to tear his gaze away from her radiant beauty. And as he saw her dancing with her fiancé, laughing and smiling, a sense of longing and regret washed over him. He looked down and walked away from there. As the days passed and YN's wedding day drew closer, Taehyung gets restless. He couldn't bear the thought of losing her for forever. He felt frustrated, lonely, heartbroken. Regret killed him every day, every moment. He doesn't know why things are turning like this. They were together and happy just a month ago. Why the marriage thing come between them? And if Y or N is getting married, then why he's feeling hurt? This is what he wanted, right? He wanted her to move on. Then why he's feeling this way? All the questions are giving him headache. On the night before her wedding, as Yn and Taehyung sat in silence in the riverbank, a sudden spark ignited between them. Taehyung turned to Yn, his eyes filled with unspoken words and emotions. In that moment, he realized the depth of his feelings for her, and he knew that he couldn't see her with someone else. He'll die from inside, but he knows very well that now it's very late. There's no going back. He lost her for his own deeds. Taehyung, butterfly, Yn, Taehyung, always stay happy. If someone ever hurt you, just let me know. Yn, are you happy that finally I'm trying to move on? Taehyung, is there any going back? Yn, what do you think? They look at each other and smile sadly. Taehyung, it's hurting, butterfly. It's hurting like hell. Yn, I know, I'm feeling the same. They look at each other with teary eyes. Taehyung pulled Yn in his arms. They cried, hugging each other tightly. After some times they broke the hug and wiped each other's tears. Yn, will you walk me to the aisle? Taehyung, I'm sorry, I can't. Yn just nodded her head. Yn, don't forget to bring your fiancé tomorrow. Taehyung, come, I will walk you home. Tomorrow is your big day. You need rest. He held her hand and they started walking silently. His heart was screaming how much he loves her, but his mouth is quiet. He doesn't have any rights to confess now. She's now belongs to someone else. Yn look at Taehyung's face. One last hope is shining in her eyes. If he said, cancel the wedding, I love you, she will leave everything and fall on his embrace. But his silence shattered her hope. She thought maybe keeping parents' words are more important than the feeling which can kill. She doesn't have any idea about it, as she have no parents. The day of the wedding arrived, and the venue was beautifully decorated with flowers and fairy lights. Taehyung looked at Jungkook, who's waiting for Yn to arrive. With a heavy heart, Taehyung approached Jungkook. Taehyung, can we talk? Jungkook nodded a little. Taehyung, my butterfly is very sensitive and fragile. She gets hurt easily. Take care of her. She's a little bit silly. She sometimes take wrong decision, but please don't scold her for this. Taehyung, and she always longed for love. Love her a lot. Jungkook was surprised by Taehyung's sudden appearance. He nodded in acknowledgement, grateful for his well wishes. Taehyung turned to leave but looked back at Jungkook again. This time his expression is kinda hard. Taehyung, my butterfly trusts people easily. People use her for their benefit. I hope you're not one of them. Never break her trust. Jungkook opened his mouth to say something, but Yn arrived. Taehyung's heart stopped beating for a moment, seeing her magnificent beauty. The sun broke through the clouds, casting a golden light on her ethereal beauty. Taehyung's eyes shone with tears. She looked like a goddess, radiant and enchanting. Before Yn could walk to Jungkook, Taehyung went to her, making everything more difficult for Yn. He whispered in her ear, Taehyung, wishing you a lifetime of love and happiness. Taehyung stepped back, but Yn's step halted. Everyone was staring at the bride, whose lips were trembling, tears were falling. To manage the situation, Jungkook walked towards Yn and take her to the aisle. As Yn was standing in front of Jungkook holding hands, Taehyung was watching them from afar. He knew that he had to let her go and move on, but the pain of seeing her with someone else was unbearable. It could be him in the place of groom if he wasn't stupid to realize his feeling, but now it was too late to turn back time. Unable to bear the sight of Yn exchanging vows with her fiancé, Taehyung quietly slipped out of the venue, tears streaming down his face. Outside, Taehyung took a deep breath and tried to compose himself. He knew that he had to do the right thing for Yn, even if it meant sacrificing his own happiness. He heard clapping sounds from inside. Taehyung looked back and mumbled, Taehyung, I love you, my butterfly. I love you a lot. He confessed finally, but alas, he's too late.